Aren't they cute? Hi, welcome to 10 cutest creatures that live in the water. Are you ready to meet those cuties? Let's dive in. Ten. Dumbo octopus. This deep-sea octopus from Umbrella genus is named after an elephant from the famous 1941 Disney's movie under the same title, where the elephant had big ears that allowed him to fly. Here we have one of the rarest octopuses that live in depths of about 4,000 meters, which is more than 13,000 feet below the surface. But they can dive almost twice as deep, what makes them, apart from being the cutest, also ones of the deepest living of all octopuses. Umbrella octopuses have their tentacles webbed. That's why they resemble an umbrella, of course. The Dumbo's ears are actually fins that propel the creature, while tentacles act as a steer. The behavior of female Dumbo octopuses is unique because after mating they can store sperm for quite some time and decide on when to fertilize the best developed eggs. Dumbo octopus, unlike other octopuses, doesn't produce famous octopus ink to defend itself. And it doesn't need to. On the depths it lives, predators are a rarity. However, it has the ability to change colors, which is useful in hiding from predators. It roams the deeps, feeding on invertebrates. The biggest recorded Dumbo octopus was 1.8 meter long, which is 5 feet 10, but most are an average size of 20 to 30 centimeters, which is 8 to 12 inches long. Dumbo octopus can be found in many places worldwide, including the waters of Australia and New Zealand, Gulf of Mexico, and some waters of the USA. 9. Blue parrotfish. Look at that goofy smile. Blue parrotfish are the only species to have such a uniform color. They live in the warm ocean around the Bermudas. Blue parrotfish are not big, their average size is from 30 to 75 centimeters, which is 12 to 30 inches. Like parrots, they have a beak that gives them this peculiar childish smile, but which they use for scraping algae and small organisms from rocks. Well, fun fact is, they also happen to eat rocks, which are later ground in their pharyngeal teeth to a fine sand you probably like to walk on at the beach. 8. Kissing fish, also known as kissing gourami, is a tropical freshwater fish that can be found in the waters surrounding Thailand and Indonesia. It is very valued by aquarists and chefs, but let's focus on cuteness, not taste. It reaches 30 centimeters, which is 12 inches. And if cared properly, it can even live up to about 20 years, but normally it will live for about 7. The main reason why people keep these fish is the kissing, limited only to their own species. They do not kiss other fish. Kissing fish has additional muscle that allows it to protrude its mouth and eat insects as well as plants, since kissing fish are omnivores. Is kissing a romantic behavior? No. It is recognized by ichthyologists as a form of dominance, a ritual fight between two individuals. They lock their strong mouths and wait. Some may say it's a fish handshake. 7. Red-lipped batfish. Well, it's not a classic beauty, but can you resist those red lips? This fish is also known as Galapagos batfish. That indicates the region where it is most common, and its Latin name, Oxocephalus darwini, underlines the fact that its ability to actually walk on the bottom of the ocean is somewhat an example of evolution in progress. Was this fish our great ancestor who left oceans to live on land? Red-lipped batfish, which can reach up to 40 centimeters in length, which is 15 inches, feeds on other small fish and small invertebrates like crabs, shrimp or worms. It lives on various depths from 3 to nearly 80 meters, which is from 10 to even 250 feet. Its big nose is supposed to lure the prey while bright red lips should catch it. The most astonishing thing is that the red lips are actually considered by the scientists a sex signal for mating. Maybe that fish and we have more in common than we think. 6. Pufferfish. This one is the whole family of omnivorous fish that live mainly in the tropics and can inhabit fresh waters and oceans. They are very clumsy, what makes them an easy target, but if threatened, they turn into a cute beach ball. Pufferfish use their elastic stomach to inflate it with water or air if needed. They are spiky, what additionally makes them hard to hunt for. Oh, did I mention that they are the most poisonous fish on Earth? At least many puffers are. If you like risk, you can order fugu, a Japanese dish made from this awkward creature. But if a cook makes a mistake, you will die before even paying the bill. So instead of eating, let's admire those creatures that often play with dolphins. Well, to be more precise, they more play a role of the mentioned beach ball. But after all, are left unharmed. There is even a theory that dolphins play with pufferfish to get intoxicated. 5. Yellow boxfish. This cute little fella even inspired people from Mercedes to base their Mercedes-Benz Bionic car on its looks and the way it swims or rather maneuvers around the reefs of Pacific and Indian Ocean. Although adults lose their cute bright yellow color and become rather bleak, the small ones look cute for quite some time. Yellow boxfish eats nearly everything from algae to tiny fish, but it's not aggressive to other reef or aquarium dwellers as long as there are no other yellow boxfish in sight. It also rarely falls prey to other predators since this tiny cutie, when stressed, can release a neurotoxin that renders other fish in vicinity dead or heavily poisoned. Hence, it can roam happily and undisturbed along the reef. It's not a big fish, adults reach up to 45 centimeters, which is 18 inches, but mostly yellow boxfish are half that size. 4. Longhorn cowfish. It's another reef boxfish living in Indo-Pacific region. This one, however, has tiny horns that actually are a lot like those of real cows. They are hollow and consist of mineralized collagen fibers. It's speculated that horns should make it harder for predators to swallow the longhorn cowfish. Well, who would want to swallow the fish that can release a strong neurotoxin? However, the meat of longhorn cowfish is not toxic. It's the fish that decide to synthesize and release the toxin. Another interesting thing about the longhorn cowfish is the fact that due to the lack of pelvic fins, the fish is a slow swimmer and is very easy to catch by hand. And then it groans or rather grunts. Yes, it makes angry sounds. The longhorn cowfish are up to 50 centimeters, which is 20 inches long, and if you are curious, the horns grow back if damaged. If you want to keep them in aquarium, it is safe to keep one, because 2 longhorn cowfish will turn your fish tank into a rodeo.
Hot damn!
3. Thornback ray. Every coin has 2 sides, and sometimes being cute depends on the way we look at that somebody or some fish. On the underside, they look like clumsy kids unable to climb out of the fish tank. But on the upper side, ordinary rays are actually well secured with thorns. They live around Atlantic coast of Europe and Africa, as well as Mediterranean Sea. They are quite common fish too. Thornback ray is carnivorous. It reaches up to even 1 meter, which is 3.3 feet. But most often you'll meet smaller specimens. Let's go back to the cutie side. What you see above mouth are not eyes but nostrils. Real eyes are on the ugly side. Nevertheless, Thornback ray knows how to use fish tank glass to its advantage. That's why it reached such a high position in our ranking. 2. Irrawaddy dolphin. This sweet-looking dolphin is rather clumsy when compared to other dolphins and not that big when compared to us. But it can spit water and live in brackish waters, what means that it can enter rivers from the sea. That versatility also poses a threat to it because some Asian countries, apart from the use of dangerous fishing nets, use legally explosives in what is called blast fishing. Irrawaddy dolphins are also kept in Asian dolphinaria since they can live in freshwater tanks, which is cheaper compared to the saltwater ones. Irrawaddy dolphins are also known to be helpful to local fishermen, driving fish to their nets. They, like other dolphins, seem to look for human contact. That led Laotians and Cambodians to have a belief that the Irrawaddy dolphins are reincarnations of their ancestors. There are also claims that the dolphins saved drowning villagers and protected them from the crocodile attacks. Cute and friendly! Irrawaddy. 1. Axolotl. Here is a freak of nature that smiles all the time, and why shouldn't it? I know I'd smile if I could regenerate limbs, kidneys, damaged spinal cord or parts of brain, heart even. It's like having some comic book superpowers and all that even without ugly scars. Axolotl is also known as Mexican walking fish, and obviously it's not a fish but an amphibian. What is even more crazy, axolotl is a neotenic salamander, what means that it's an aquatic larva of salamander that due to genetic defect cannot transform into its final form, so add eternal youth to the aforementioned superpowers. Axolotls lack thyroid hormone necessary for metamorphosis, but if artificially injected with it, they transform into something a lot like a tiger salamander. Simply put, axolotl matures and reproduces without becoming its final adult form of land salamander. It has plant-looking gills which limit its living environment to water, but having legs, it can run from one drying pond to another. Despite being very popular among aquarists all around the globe, this cute salamander, being native to only 2 lakes in Mexico, is now an extremely endangered species. There are about 4 basic colorations, but albinos are the most common aquarium guests, because naturally pigmented ones are not that cute. Axolotls are not big. Average size is of 23 centimeters, which is 9 inch. Much bigger specimens are a rarity, but may also happen. They are carnivorous. If cared properly, they may smile at you for even 15 years. And that was it. 10 sweetest and not that obvious aquatic creatures that may make your day by a simple smile. Hope you liked it. And you know what would make us smile? This pressed subscribe button. Thank you. And till the next time.